Today we're learning how to mix paint to make a color darker. We're also learning how to blend from a dark value to a light value. I chose to use the color blue. So on my palette I have a regular blue, a white, some red mixed with orange, and more of an orange color. The reason I chose orange is because I'm going to mix my orange into my blue to make it a darker tone. That works with any color. If you want to make a darker version of your color, you could add its complement. So the complement of blue is orange, so I'm going to add orange into my blue to give it a little bit of a darker tone. So I'm using this tray for mixing. I'm going to start with adding my blues. I'm going to switch my brush. So I have blue over here. This is just regular blue. I'm going to actually make 3 piles of blue. One is going to be dark, one is going to be medium, one is going to be light. In the dark blue, I'm going to go ahead and add orange. And make sure I mix it completely, because if I don't, it might be streaky when I start to blend it. Okay, with a different brush. I like to use different brushes. Hopefully you guys have enough to mix. I'm going to take my second brush. This one is going to be the medium, so I'm going to add a little bit of white. And this one's going to be my lightest, so I'm going to add a lot of white. Okay, so now I have my 3 tones. I have a dark value, a medium value, and a light value. If I really want to be even more extreme, I can add one more, even lighter, closer to white. And I'm just going to take a little bit from my light pile and I'm going to add a bunch more white to make that color. You don't have to do 4, 3 is plenty, but if you want to go the extra mile, you can make a 4th pile. And this one is very close to white, so it's going to be my lightest value. I like to blend. When I blend, I like to go from the darkest to the lightest. It's just easier for me. But if you want to try both ways and see what you like better, I'd say go for it. So I'm going to get my dark brush with my dark color, and I'm only going to do half of the canvas because I want to show the other half with something else. So I'm going to apply my color, about 1/4 of the canvas I'll cover with the dark color. Then I'm going to stop and get my other brush. I'm going to do the medium color. I'm going to add it underneath, and then I'm going to slowly, with circles, start blending the two together. I'm going to do the same thing with my other 2. So I'm going to get the middle light blue, and then the last one is going to be the lightest blue. And then in the end, I'm going to actually make them look like they blend better. You want to do this fast because once the paint dries, it's hard to blend. Acrylic, unfortunately, dries the fastest of all paints. Oil paint dries the slowest. Oil paint typically takes like 4 days to dry, whereas acrylic can dry in like 10 minutes. It's just the base that they have. Oil lasts longer, because it's oil based, and oil is the thickest of the paints, and it's actually my favorite because you can blend a lot. I'm just going now back into each color and making small circles where I added them so that they blend very smooth. You want the change to be gradual, just like if you were making a value scale, if you guys have ever made one in your previous classes. Oops. And if you need to add a color back in, like let's say I make the medium blue too light, I could always go back with my medium and just make it a little darker. So the rest of the time you just keep going back in, making small circles so that it blends gradually. If I was not doing a video, I would keep going, but since I am doing a video, I'm going to stop here. And I'm going to show you the second part that I wanted to show you on the other edge of the canvas. This is if you're trying to make a straight edge. You just get a roll of masking tape, take a small piece. Let's say you're trying to make a line. You go ahead, you put the piece. It has to be dry underneath. You can't do it while the paint is wet because it's going to pull your paint off. So you just put it on both sides, as thick as you want the line. So if you want it thin, you move it closer. If you want it really thick, you can move it a little further out. You just press down so it stays nice and straight. Take your brush, paint between the lines. And when I pull the tape away, I pull it away at an angle. Normally I would let this dry before I pull the tape away just because it pulls away nicer. It makes a straighter edge. But for time's sake, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pull it away on an angle. Actually, I'm going to pull it this way because you want to do it away from the paint. It makes a nice straight edge. This side was not as straight, but you get the point. What I would do, because I am really particular about detail, when this dries, I would go over these little spaces. I would re-tape it where those spaces are and just make it the color that I need to. So I would make this white, just so those little dots are not showing. But I am like very crazy about detail. You guys are still in Art 1, so we don't have to go too extreme, but if you want like 100 on your projects, I would say be that detailed. If you're not crazy about getting hundreds, then I wouldn't worry about it. All right, thanks for being quiet and for watching.